Alright everybody, how we doing today? So, for our one and only Reuters article for today, this one should be interesting. Britain begins escorting all UK vessels through Hormuz Strait. That's no thanks to Iran. London. Britain has started sending a warship to accompany all British-flagged vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. A change in policy announced on Thursday after the government previously said it did not have resources to do so. Oh, it's no surprise when a government flip-flops. All governments do to some extent. Tensions have spiked between Iran and Britain since last Friday, when Iranian commandos seized a British-flagged tanker in the world's most important waterway for oil shipments. That came 2 weeks after British forces captured an Iranian oil tanker near Gibraltar, accused of violating sanctions on Syria. HMS Montrose, a British frigate now in the area, carried out the first mission under the new policy on Wednesday evening. The Royal Navy has been tasked to accompany British-flagged ships through the Strait of Hormuz, either individually or in groups, should sufficient notice be given of their passage, a government spokesman said. Freedom of navigation is crucial for the global trading system and world economy, and we will do all we can to defend it, he added in a statement. I certainly hope Iran doesn't try to interfere with this effort by the British to escort their vessels. Because if they're right and they are simply pirating vessels, then it could turn into an armed conflict within the strait itself. If not, well, I believe it might indeed be piracy by Iran. Because the stories they gave for what the ships did that gave them reason to capture them, I just don't see how they're believable. They just randomly turn off their radio trackers and head towards the Iranian shore for no reason. I find that extremely hard to believe. I find that very, very hard to believe. I suspect Iran is simply being overprotective of their shoreline and their country's space. But anyway, the British government had previously advised British-flagged vessels to avoid the Strait of Hormuz where possible and to notify the Navy if they must cross it, but it said it would not be able to escort every ship. Britain has been seeking to put together a European-led maritime protection mission to ensure safe shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, after Iran's seizure of the tanker in what London said was an act of state piracy. The change of policy was not the result of a change made by new Prime Minister Boris Johnson, as the government had been working on the plan for a few days, according to an official who asked not to be named. So in short, this was something that's been planned for a long time, in response to Iran's BS. Honestly, I think it might be a prudent maneuver, just in case. And I certainly hope Iran doesn't choose to escalate. But this to me strikes me as a very appropriate decision. So, well done. Uncertain time. The UK Chamber of Shipping Trade Association, which previously called for more protection of merchant vessels in the area, welcomed the change. This move will provide some much-needed safety and reassurance to our shipping community in this uncertain time, said the chief executive, Bob Sanguinetti. However, we will continue to push for a de-escalation of tensions in the region. Sanguinetti. That sounds like the Italian version of sanguinary injection. Anyway, on any given day, about 15 to 30 large British flag. See, give me a second. I tickle myself sometimes. On any given day, about 15 to 30 large British flagged ships travel in the Gulf, with up to 3 passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Between Iran and Oman, where a pair of 2-mile-wide shipping lanes provide the only routes in and out of the Gulf. About a fifth of the world's oil passes through the strait, and shipping companies are already deploying more unarmed security guards as an extra safeguard. On July 10th, the Montrose saw off an apparent attempt by Iranian vessels to block the passage of a British oil tanker at the northern entrance of Hormuz. On July 10th, the Montrose warned an Iranian patrol boat against interfering with the Stena Impero, but the Iranian vessel, apparently undeterred, proceeded to instruct the oil tanker to alter course and later seized it. The cost of ensuring a ship sailing through the region has risen tenfold, as risks have risen, which has also prompted some ship owners to avoid the area entirely. The key issue with the escorts is the rules of engagement, said Mark Gray, a retired colonel with Britain's Royal Marines. It's a long article. The vessels must have the authorization to fire warning shots and also, if necessary, target rounds against boats and helicopters. If not, the Iranians will call our bluff and board even if escorted, said Gray, co-founder of British company MNG Maritime, which runs a UK-regulated floating armory some 26 nautical miles from the coast of the United Arab Emirates. Gary Northwood of maritime security firm MAST and a former Royal Navy captain who has commanded warships in the region said Iran had operational capabilities throughout the Gulf. They'll be looking for their opportunities to embarrass the UK through a failure of its ability to protect its merchant shipping. In 2007, 15 British Navy personnel from HMS Cornwall were captured by Iran's Revolutionary Guards after they had completed a routine search of a merchant ship in Iraqi waters. The Royal Navy said earlier this month the destroyer HMS Duncan was heading to the region. Separately, 4 mine countermeasures vessels were also deployed, but maritime experts say they would be vulnerable to swarm attacks by Iranian fast boats. The United States, Britain, and other nations will meet in Florida on Thursday to discuss how to protect shipping in the Gulf from Iran. Washington, which has by far the strongest Western naval contingent in the Gulf, has been calling for its allies to join it in an operation to guard shipping there. But European countries which disagree with the U.S. decision to impose sanctions on Iran have been reluctant to sign up to a U.S.-led mission for fear of adding to tension in the region. All in all, in regards to tension, Iran was doing pretty well until this started. Their activities in the Gulf regarding merchant shipping has been shady AF. Just grabbing up ships like pirates. It's not going to go over well, let me tell you. It really isn't. Oh, I haven't had my caffeine today. In all honesty, I mean, this could be seen as a hostile act, especially if the ships are being escorted. Do they really want to give Britain and the United States an excuse to attack them? Because that's what they're going to be doing if they keep up this shit. To finish off this rather lengthy article, France, Italy, and Denmark support Britain's idea of an EU-led flotilla in the Gulf, 3 EU diplomats said on Tuesday. Iran says it will not allow any disturbance in shipping in the Strait. State news agency quoted Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araki as saying on Tuesday. The only flotilla I support is the flotilla from Mass Effect. But anyway, no, just kidding. As much as I hate the EU, having a flotilla of protected ships going through the Gulf of Hormuz is perfectly acceptable. But yeah, I mean, they can't be all bad. I mean, let's be realistic. As much as I hate globalism, they can't be all bad. Anyway, I hope everything goes well with that. Anyway.